Allahu Akbar. So today will be the 100th post to make it to my our YouTube channel. And so in the Moorish literature, right, we are informed that when all is well and truly perfected, right, it says that Allah will smile behind your tears, right? So I'm full of tears and I'm smiling, right? Because I walked through the fire, okay? And I came out refined, not scorched. So when I just went downtown to file my last statement, I went down and filed my last statement, right? This is the post-trial statement and affirmation of fiduciary performance, right? So I already knew the procedure. Went into the clerk's office, right, with 5 copies. Clerk presses all 5, keeps the original. I go on up to the 4th floor to the district attorney's office. Their recorder stamps the other remaining 4. Keeps 1, gives me 3. So now I go up to the 5th floor where the judge in his chambers is. And I knew that around the time that I had reached there that he would not be in chambers. Right? So I went on in there. I met a secretary. I gave this to the secretary. And I instructed her to inform the justice that I found justice in this court. All right? So this is an honor to him. Right? But I wasn't satisfied because I felt like I have to, as chief, I have to speak to chief. Now, as administrator, I spoke to his administrator. But now as chief, I have to speak to chief. So I go into one of the courtrooms that I know he's in. It's the courtroom where I actually had my quote-unquote trial. It was not the main courtroom. I noticed that he wasn't there. And so that told me that he was actually in the main courtroom. So I find myself going to his courtroom. I know that they're presiding, right? And I do not wish to cause any type of alarm. A couple of people come in before me. I allow them to go in and they open the door. So I'm the last one at his door. Everyone else has walked in. He's still out the side of his eye. He still sees his door open. He looks and he sees me standing. I'm not in the courtroom. I'm behind the threshold. So as not to show everybody that I'm here. Right? But I stood on square. He nodded and got back to work. What's understood need not be explained. So I'm officially redeemed, relieved of any penalties, and am awaiting restoration. I did everything that I followed the example that Jesus led which is the same example that I see all of the prophets lead, right? I did not go in arguing about whether or not these many debits or those many debits should be accredited to myself. I accepted I accepted everything, right? I accepted the liability. I accepted all the debt in my professional capacity as fiduciary, all right, as governor and chair, all right. And once I accepted all the charges, standing in honor, I am now able to discharge the affairs. So I've discharged the affairs, right? I've acted as my own governor and chairman of my own organization within the national government. This is my organization. This is it. So I acted in equity. All right. When you go into trial, you don't argue. All right. Most of us, we get so caught up and bound up, we think that we're fighting for our lives. We don't yet realize that in order for you to be the secure party, you have to secure some debt. If you go in there arguing saying these debts aren't mine, then you can't discharge the debt for credit. You can't. Now that this is officially on the record, if I have to go through it again, all are liable. Right? As a fiduciary, as a trustee, right, I've secured the estate, I've secured the assets. We now have secured assets. For every charge that was brought against my estate, I was able to offset it. You cannot offset what you do not have. You cannot claim to be the secured party and creditor if you have not secured any debts. What debts, what obligations have you secured? I secured my obligation as the executor and administrator of an estate held in national trust. I really just walked in there like, hey, it's all on me, so let me know what's on my name, All of your gurus who are telling you to fight the system, right? They're leading you down, they're leading you astray when they don't explain to you that in order for you to discharge the affairs, in order for you to get rid of the debt, you must first have the debt. Can't go in there talking about, this is my account. I mean, there's people going in there and they're fighting, but they're standing their ground. You cannot be a redeemer if you have nothing to redeem, is my point. All right. So everybody telling you to challenge jurisdiction, I did not challenge it. I invoked proper jurisdiction. Right? It was through my actions that I took it out of public commerce into chancellery. It's no longer public debt. This is now secure. Right? And again, it wasn't necessarily by my filings, because by the time I figured out what I needed to do and realized what I needed to do, I was already there on the 7th at court, at trial. And I knew that, as long as I could at least say it on the record, as long as I was able to invoke equity on the record, it didn't necessarily have to be written in paper, right? But That's why the last statement, make sure that that statement is on file for closure. And yes, like I told you all, right? This is what they got. That's my seal. Me. I am my own seal. Right? This is my fiduciary contract. This is my discharge. These are my discharging papers. You know how when you're leaving any type of institution for that matter, you receive discharging papers. These are my discharging papers. So we're going to see the complete closure. What I'm waiting on now is restoration. Right? I'm waiting on my revenue. No. Where is it? Ah, there we go. Hopefully this is the one. All right. This paper right here, this is an average balance sheet for your ledger. This right here represents the revenue, right? Remember how I said that I did not challenge jurisdiction. I invoked equitable jurisdiction. So I revenued jurisdiction. This was the original venue. I revenued through action, through performance, acceptance for value, return for value upon consideration. What was my consideration? That I be restored. All right? So these assets, this is an unsecured asset. That's why it's a debit or a debt. You want to bring this to this side. When you bring these assets to this side, you secure them. A secured debit is called a credit. So this is the minus side of the ledger, and this is the plus side. That's the negative side, not the bad side, but the negative side. So this split in the middle operates as 0. This is 0 point right here in the middle. And then -1, -2, -3, +1, +2, +3. So when I took all the charges, when I accepted all the charges, that now allowed me to discharge every one of them positively. Who's the liable party? This is the principal. The debtor is the principal. The beneficiary is the principal. All right? So my professional capacity allowed me to stand in for the surety. Not as the surety, but for the surety, for the beneficiary. And once these matters were taken care of, now I am the equitable owner. All right? So now this is purity. This is the principle. Again, once I do all of that, I can now take off my professional character and stand bare before all in equity to receive that which is just, which is due to me. And revenue is justice. The revenue is that which you were given. It's the net profit. What's left? If I took all of these assets and exchanged them took all these debts and exchanged them for credits, right? The liable party has credits, not just for myself, but in the whole trust. So once I equaled out everything, once the liable party was able to succor and balance the ledger, literally everything else. What is everything else in my case? Honor, standing, professional character, property, all those things I just labeled are properties as well. But my car gets to come back. If my car is not in their property, is not held, then equity says to give me the fair market value thereof. So now when I'm out here running around in my car now, if I were to get pulled over for the same matter, right, I already stood in equity once. If you cross me again, now we have a feud. Now I'm going to bring everything to you. Why? Because they've already been made aware of who and what I am and how I stand. The officer alone who was in the courtroom, he now recognized, or he would have to, damn, I can't just run down on him anymore. Running down on me now means that you are liable now. Drew Ali told us that if someone is bothering you or coming at you, right, to remove yourself from them at all costs. So this is what I did. I removed myself. I didn't fight. I didn't argue, right? He said, but if the person persists, you drop the world on their head. So after this, once I get this court order of restoration, if they break that order, we go to war. And I have the backing of the judge and the whole system now. Why? Because it's on record that I'm in honor. I'm honorable. Just like the judge is honorable, my title is honorable. The honorable minister or administrator. The fiduciary. When you go to court, if you're looking for money, you're looking for money, tangible money is dead. If you don't want to secure it, you're going to find yourself fighting. You can go through all of that huffing and puffing and, but I recommend that you just get your passport, and stand on it. Check this out. I want y'all to look at this abstract, right? This is a book. See? This is a book. You see? It opens up. Left to right. It closes. Right to left. I'm the bookkeeper. I'm the accountant. I'm the auditor. I'm the chief auditor. I'm the chief auditor of the estate. And so all you're doing is you're saying, you know what? I take it off for myself and for all others. Because my debt's secured with all others, I'll take on all charges for myself and all others. Good stuff. So if I wish to go into court, can you define principal again? All right, so the principal is what's out front. It's the source. All right, principal means to lead, that which is in front. The estate held in trust is the principal. Your Social Security straw man is the principal. It's unsecured. You have to secure it. Because it's a liability, you have to secure the liability. So now you're acting on behalf of the principal, on behalf of the estate. And once you take care of the principal of the estate, everything that is due in equity is returned unto you. Principal means chief obligation. The chief, the primary obligation is the beneficiary. Not the grown-up, but the beneficiary. Your child is your priority. This is like you're having your child here. This is your dependent side. This is your interdependent side. So a principal would be any financial asset. So because I'm not speaking as the principal, but on behalf of the principal, I can now take these debits, secure them, and then administrate. I've now executed the trust, and now I'm administrating the trust, and I can bring the trust to closure, or the estate to closure. I hope that helps. You're most welcome. That's all we're really looking at here. Right? Here's another thing for you all, right? The trust is already established. The national government, which consists of all of the states in union, federally recognized, that's the national government. That's your national trust. This doesn't mean that I'm a federal agent. This means that I'm a federally recognized citizen. So the federal is the public. The federal is the finance. So commercially, I'm recognized not just as a Pennsylvanian, right? As a true American in the private and public. I'm secured. This is your security right here. The birth certificate is your security instrument, your asset. This is your secured security instrument, your secured asset. So we wear all hats. Absolutely, we wear all hats, but you have to make sure to take off a hat and put on another hat when the time applies. When I went in as executor. When I left out as administrator. These are two hats that belong to the principal, or these are two hats that belong to the fiduciary that act on behalf of the principal, which is the beneficiary. All right. I would tell you that the beneficiary hat is the dunce cap. It means not yet comprehending. The dunce cap, right? And the fiduciary hat is the fez cap. All right. It doesn't come to a peak, right? But it's still going up, right? You are, according to Morris Sons Temple of America, right? You are the supreme grand sheik, which is also another way of saying governor. So you are the supreme grand governor, and you are the chairman of your beneficiary estate. You, everything that the grand sheik is, everything that the most worshipful master is, everything that the boss is, you're in that capacity for yourself. And then you must carry that same structure or standard out into society so that you're able to see it. Now, if someone has truly wronged you, you still want equity. You want to show mercy first. But only show mercy where mercy is shown. So again, I've shown mercy. If I got to go through this again, we're going to write the common law. I have do the Rule 22. Rule 220. What is that? Is that the Minnesota stuff? You talk about that shit that the embezzler Yusuf L talks about? Why would you are you in Minnesota? I already have my assumed name and title. It's already there. I don't need to go out. Those processes that you're talking about, family, I'm telling you that everything, all of those processes are expressed and implied when you get this, man. Prime example, right? We know about the assumed name. Let me show you. You don't have to do what you're about to do unless you don't mind wasting your money. Unless you don't mind wasting your money, you don't have to do, and I've done it. Can you elaborate on the name change? So first and foremost, there is no name change. They would say it's an alter. Yes, it is an alter ego. Yes. So the assumed name. Okay? The assumed name, whether it's in all caps or not, whatever, right? This is the assumed name. Now, you need the assumed name and title, right? That's my assumed name and title. In business, if you lead with your first name, you accept all liability. In business, if you leave with an organizational name, meaning your family more than one, you've assumed the name and the title of what? Fiduciary. When you use your first name in business, you're a minor. When you use your last name, it is a professional title. So, just to show you briefly, my beneficiary estate, right? First name first, you see it, right? Now, mind you, I secured this, right? To me, this is this is an asset. This is unlimited debits, right? And this is the account number to the unlimited debits, right? Professionally, my last name is first. And I also have another 9-digit number. It's secure. It already secured this number. So I use this number in place of this number. These were assets that were not secured. They are now secured. Excuse me. So here's your assumed name and title right here. To be honest with you, I didn't have to. I'm going through all of this hell as well, right? But I'm correcting it. I didn't have to put the L on. All I have to do is lead with my last name. The title is inherent. You know, when you act, you know. So I was born Brandon Eugene Davis. All I technically had to do was fill out the passport information with everything I got. The passport would have said Davis Brandon Eugene. It has the same effect. Adding the L was something that I desired to do for personal reasons. Whether I have an L or not doesn't make me, whether that's there or not, right? I'm going to be what I'm going to be. There's people running around now with L, Bay, all of these things, and they're not acting in their proper capacity. Yes, absolutely. Business, first name, last name. Okay, so personal business is first name first. Professional business is last name first. Personal business would be like a sole proprietorship. You're in business for yourself. It's personal gain. You're not really there to help anybody. You're not employing anyone but yourself. You're taking all the liability. That's that. That's this right here. First name first. Everything's on your good name. Professionally, though, LLC, S Corp, C Corp, organization, corporation, everything except for an individual. Your individual name. If you do business in your individual name, you assume all liability. That's your personal name. This is your professional family name. So we would still trade. No, bro, I'm about to. No. It's already trademarked. It's already ready, or I don't understand. No. You don't need to do all of that. Why are you doing all of that? I mean, again, you can do what you want, but you can just send me the money. Send me the money that you was going to do all of that, and I'll explain to you how to use this instead of that. Or you could just go get this and stop with that shit right there, bro. I'm telling you, stop with that shit. Fuck is you going to go do that for? You going to trademark your name? It doesn't belong to you. It doesn't belong. It belongs to the state. It doesn't belong to you. That name don't belong to you. I thought it was going to giving value to the trust. Bro, check this out, right? Because I'm getting a little impatient, and I know it's not you, it's me. Right? Because you're taking me off because I'm trying to answer your questions. All right, you can DM me. We can speak. You and I can speak over the phone for as long as you desire, right? But there is a fee. There's a $100 consultation fee. All right. I'll talk to you about all of that. I'll assist you with all of that thing. And then if you wish to continue that psychobabble there, and again, I'm not knocking you. I'm just letting you know that the stuff that you're saying, everything that you're talking about doing is out in public. You're publicly filing. That's not secure. That's not a secured filing. Secure your filings. and then go file. This is your security. This is your professional business, everything right here. Right here. This is your religious organization. This is your civic organization. This is your religious, your civic standing, all of the standings. It's right here. Right here. Right? So if you DM me and you truly desire to have that back and forth, DM me and I'll give you the I don't want to say it because I think if I say it, I've had at least 2 other of my live feeds that won't process. And I do believe it's because of what we're speaking about now. Right? So again, DM me to let me know you're serious. If that's what you wish, I'll tell you how to get in contact with me. And then we can chop it up until your heart's content, family. All right. This is the name and number that you wish to use. By getting away from the use of the Social Security number, right, you stop adding to the debts because you're now using your passport. You are only adding to the credits. After time, all of the debts that you've acquired will balance out. And then after they balanced out, right, you will now receive more credits because you're operating in honor. There's no need for us to go out there and do these things without getting secure federally. If you want to do business in the federal government has to acknowledge you. If you want to do business in China, China has to acknowledge you. You feel me? So get right with your nation, state. Bring them together. Your nation is America. Your state is your state. I love how simple you are making this. That's what we're here to do. I'm just here to give you the plain truth. It's just the plain truth. You know, we take all of that fluff off. You know, that's how a lot of these people are getting railroaded because there's just a whole bunch of unclarity. The information is right, but the mechanisms are not proper. All right, everyone's trying to secure themselves publicly in the public. You're supposed to secure yourself in the private. The security is in the private. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Bitch ass Yusuf L, he won't tell you that. Bitch ass Jonah Bay, he won't tell you that. There's a lot of bitch assness out there. They just won't tell you these things. Because either they don't know, or they don't want you to, or they know that you don't know, and due to your ignorance, you won't keep putting money in their pocket. Because they're telling you the truth, right? But they're not showing you the way. They've never walked it themselves. I'm still waiting right now for someone who claims to be a secured party creditor to come and say, hey, everything that you've done was wrong. This is why I keep documenting everything. I'm waiting for the gurus. You feel me? I'm waiting for not because I'm bold. Well, yeah, it is because I'm bold, but not because I'm ego driven. I truly desire to be right. I'm willing to accept criticism as long as it's constructive. But I have yet for anyone to be like, nah, see when this happened, you know, and he's saying, nah, look, I told you I went in there and accepted everything. Everything got placed against the estate person, not the person, not the fiduciary person. And I just closed out my account. And mind you, everything I did according to the procedures that are to be followed in the divine constitution and bylaws of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I acted as Grand Sheik and Chairman. Grand Sheik and Chairman is one person. One person with two roles. That's why in the literature it says the Grand Sheik and chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is in power. Now, if it was more than one, it would say are in power. This is how we know that embezzling ass Elihu Pleasant Bay and his organization, they're off. You know, they're mixing this stuff. They're trying to get it right, whatever the case may be. I'm back. I appreciate y'all for waiting. My had to call. She called me. She needed me. All right. So, as Grand Sheik, another word for Grand Sheik is governor. So you're learning how to be the governor of your estate and the governor of the trust. Excuse me. The governor of the trust and the administrator of the estate. Chairman means you're the, so here you go. Let me put it to you this way, right? That's what we're looking at. The Grand Sheik and Chairman, you are the executor and the administrator. I missed a lot of this. What is required that must be done in court beyond acceptance of charges. So if you're asking me for legal advice, you're going to have to definitely pay me. Okay? Absolutely. All right? Because I'm a servant, and the servant is worthy of his hire. Not because I'm trying to get in your pocket, but because if you're going to be asking me all these questions and you desire for me to give you specific attention and pull me away from what I'm doing, right? You're going to have to compensate me for my time. So what you can do, right? Go to my channel, go to the profile, go to the YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube, all right? And once I'm done with this, within about an hour's time or less, this whole live feed should be, if I don't get hindered, this will be placed up there and you'll be able to catch it from the beginning, okay? But I will answer your question. There's nothing else you need to do. The truth will set you free. It is so simple that we overthink it. We're like, oh, well, I got to do this. I was doing that, I promise you. What do I do next? Be still. What the fuck I had to do. I had to calm down. Right? In law, in true law and in equity, all one need to do is express and or imply for a matter to be. That's it. Know what you're doing. Go in there. Do what you need done and do no more. What do you need to do? You need to let it be known for the record that you're the executor and administrator. That's all you're really doing out here. That's all you're looking for. That's all that really needs to be done. Thank you. So many processes never work. Right. The process that I'm utilizing works on many different levels. I'm using certain information with my utility bills. I've used the same information with discharging court charges. Um, shit. Tax exemptions, sales tax exemptions, levy. Again, taxes. I use this information to get rid of taxes. Not to get rid of taxes, but to balance the sheet so that no taxes occur. No penalties are imposed. Yeah. So some of the books that these were foundational, and I'm sure there's some of you who I'm about to show, y'all may have these as well, right? Y'all got these. Really good information in here. Oh, yeah, that's right. Really good information in here if you know what you're looking at. Right? Really good information. Look, happy is the man that finds wisdom and the man that gets understanding. That ain't no joke. Oh, wait a minute. So these two got the same one. All right, justice and judgment are the habitation of thy throne. Mercy and truth shall go before thy face. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I like that shit. Like that. Right. But these were some of my foundational books. Here's another one. I really like David Robinson. You know, I really like these people who are doing what they can. Right. They're doing what they can to show you, be the one to execute your trust and be the one to administrate it. Absolutely. You know? It's just really good to know what you have, right? So I'm gonna look into this now that I've figured some things out. I can now look into this, right? And I'll be able to, understanding that I'm already operating in trust. I don't have to go and create a trust, you know. Maybe whatever, but I'll be able to take these principles, right? Because I know that the brother Don Kalam, he's working on off the principles alone. Right? It's really good to be knowledgeable, y'all. Right? So I don't knock anybody's sources of information because I know that wisdom speaks from the highest plane. You know? I've learned in my religious scripture that the wisdom of the sages comes from children. You know? So I don't knock anybody's sources of information. I know personally that which I accept and that which I reject. This is good. Get yourselves one of these. Get yourselves this here, parliamentary procedure. This is how everything in court works. This is how everything in business, period, works. This is a professional instructional pamphlet. Right? All right, y'all. I thank you all for coming. As always, I'm just your brother man coming to show you the way to your own salvation, right? Through my own words, deeds, and actions. Right? Not just pointing the way. I'm walking. And I've turned around and said, hey, take my hand. All right? Y'all take care.